in the future, but it's still unrealized. The problem here, though, is that we often create very deep attachments to the outcome of these promises. And attachments being those desires and needs that kind of drive and create a hypersensitivity. And so there's expectation that kind of pulls us in. And on one side, while we're waiting for our promises to manifest or to come into fruition, we might feel a sense of anxiety or worry, creating some dysfunction, creates a sense of stress. And then on the backside of that, after the so-called expectation has been fulfilled, sometimes it's not fulfilled quite exactly the way we expect. And so that pulls from us a sense of disappointment and anger, and sometimes resentment and rage. So I want you to think about some of the long-standing commitments. Because sometimes these long-standing commitments and promises, you really have to evaluate whether they're continuing to serve our highest and best. Are they allowing us to grow where we need to be? So part of one of the things that we're going to be doing today, and so if you're a person who's a note taker, I'm going to be posing some questions that I really want you all to think about. And when I talk about those outdated promises and long-standing commitments, I mean, like, for instance, when you say, you're going to have best friends forever, relationships, friendships, it's going to last forever, but then things change, people change. Sometimes we make statements like, I love this job. I'm never going to leave it. But then policies change, times change, people change, the money changes, and then you have to rethink that. Or what about when you move into the perfect home? You say, I'm never going to move out of this home. But then maybe because of other circumstances, you're not able to afford the mortgage. Or maybe your family grows, and so your needs have changed. The question is, are you holding on to outdated promises? Promises that you might be outgrown. Are you waiting for someone to put a ring on it? Are you waiting to say yes to the dress? But really, on the inside, there's this feeling that the ship has sailed. Sometimes the ship isn't even yours. Sometimes, you know what I'm talking about. It's not even your ship. It's not even your promise, your commitment. Maybe your parents love this person. They really want you to be in this relationship and get married so they can have grandkids. Not your ship, not your promise. So, whose promise, I'm asking, are you holding on to? Is it yours? Is it still what you want? How many of you are carrying, how many of us are carrying old obligations and dreams that have lost their shine and their luster, and they're masquerading as outgrown promises? So, the way of evolution always promotes change, pushing us to make space for new things, new beginnings, and growth. So, just as we take a breath and we expel, clear that air from our lungs, we have to do the same thing with our minds. We have to empty our minds of those old habits that might be bringing us down. So, by the way, I'm not saying that if you have a dream or that you need to engage patience, that's not the right thing to do. Absolutely write that book and create that business, make that move. But understand that energy of creation is about clarity and movement, order and strength and We talk about that as our 12 powers here at Renaissance Union. But what I'm talking about is the energy of stagnation and indecision. So let's get into talking about moving into this new space of possibilities. So I said that we get hooked. And the way that we get unhooked is by learning to let go. Now, if I was with the wild eagles, they might be rolling their eyes right now. Oh, God, you have to let go. Surrender. The big S word. And when I say let go, I mean that you have to slow down, take a pause, turn within, and ask for that clarity and that balance. But, in this day and age, who has time for that? I mean, we have places to go, right? And people to see, and things to do. I don't have time to pause. I don't have time to sit down. I don't have time. Who has time for this? That is what the human aspect of who we are tends to say. But let me tell you who believed in the pause. Jesus. Jesus believed in the pause. From the beginning of his ministry, he believed in the pause. That's how he made decisions. That's how he dealt with troubling times. That's how he taught and what he demonstrated. So if it's good enough for Jesus and a necessary tool, why would it be good enough and necessary for our own well-being, for the work that we're doing in the world, for the things that we want to have? Are you with me? Amen. Yes. So, when we think about Jesus, I think about him going up into the mountains, going down by the lake, and all throughout the Bible, we see this over and over and over again repeated. That solitude and silence were a priority. They were not in the background. They were not secondary. These were first. These were first. So, now, while we might be a little reticent to engage in that way, guess what? Life has a way of, the Spirit has a way of knowing exactly what we need. And it also knows how to help us grow. Because again, that's always the function. Growth, transformation, change. But again, that requires letting go, pausing, moving within, getting clarity, redirection. Now, the good news, like I said, is that life is always pushing us to do that. And it does so in two ways. There's two ways of helping us let go. One way is the wake-up call. That's what I call the wake-up call. How many people kind of know what I mean by wake-up call? A lot of hands. The wake-up call is that it usually begins as a unconscious occurrence that startles you awake to something, right? Now, the conscious awareness wake up or letting go is more of a unfolding. It's connecting in with intention, attention, and awareness, usually through spiritual practices that help to draw that forward. Now, often with the wake-up call, we receive multiple opportunities to wake up consciously before the wake-up call. You know what I'm talking about, right? Small ding, small knock on the head. So, oh yeah, that's right. I do need to change. I do need to shift. Well, I don't know if I have time right now to do that. So let me share, in all honesty, that I had one of those moments a few weeks ago. And it was one of those days where I woke up and I had a whole long list of tasks that I had to get done. I was managing my time. This is going to be a productive day. I'm all dressed. I'm racing out the door. And I'm like, oh, I forgot something. I got to race back in. So I run up the stairs, grab it. And as I am exiting on that first step, my heel catches
Mm.
And now I'm in free fall.
Oh, wow.
6 or 7 stairs, landing. Another set of 6 or 7 stairs, bottom. Now in my mind, I'm thinking, I gotta catch myself before I get to the second 6 or 7. Like, ah! So I'm successful. I'm able to brace myself as I get to the first landing, and I'm thinking, oh. And as I begin to stand up and rise, I can't. I feel this searing pain in my right shoulder. And I'm trying to walk it like this. And I'm thinking, okay, this is not right. Now here's how good the Spirit is, how good God is. On any other typical day, my husband Rodney is dressed and out the door before I am. On this day, he was still home. So he was able to take me to the hospital. We thought the shoulder was broken, the rotator cuff tear.